This is the world's leading developmental golf tour. This is the hotelplanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour. Welcome to the Pentahotels Championship here at the stunning Caversham Heath Golf Club in Maple Durham on the outskirts of Reading. We've got a packed show for you today, so here's what's coming up. Kit is on the course, of course.
25 feet for eagle here, but it's a tough one to read. From the hole, it looks like it's downhill all the way.
I put the viewers' questions to the players. Zanzara asks, how do you like your eggs?
Poached.
And we have all the final round action. So that's what we've got coming up, and the players have been battling it out over this young parkland course. The 18-hole golf course, designed by David Williams, opened in 2000 and is built to exacting USGA standards. At 7,151 yards and a par of 73, the course offers a variety of challenging holes, but reward for the risk takers. Chris Lloyd sat comfortably in the top spot in the race to Amaduira. However, Lloyd's absence from Caversham Heath offers ample opportunity for the chasing pack to close the gap, in particular to Yorkshire golfers Nick Marsh and Jonathan Thompson, Neil Raymond, Jonathan Caldwell and Sam Robertshaw. 57 players made the cut here this week, but there is one man to catch. It's South Korean wonder kid Kim. So that's all from us. We're ready. The players are ready. Boys, over to you.
Thanks, Imogen. Now, I don't want to fawn over our leader, but what a performance so far from terrific teenager Min Kyu Kim. He leads by 4 from Jonathan Thompson, teeing off in the most important round of his fledgling professional career. But Gary, with so much talent snapping at Kim's heels, this is not a done deal.
No, far from it, Phil. This is going to be very exciting. It'll be a real test of the youngster's nerve, but I must admit he's swinging the club beautifully over these first couple of rounds, so it'll be exciting for us to watch.
On the first hole, quite a cheeky pin, especially if you found the rough. Tough to control the ball coming downhill. No rough found on the second, though, for Robbie Busher.
Good young player, Robbie Busher. Had some success on the EuroPro, and there's a lovely shot, almost pitched it in the hole.
Now here is the man, or should we say the boy of the moment.
It is remarkable when you think he's 16 years old, qualified for this tour at the beginning of the year. And look at that, he's been doing that all week, Phil. Just wonderful rhythm and poise.
Well, if he needs a lesson in front running, maybe speak to Sam Connor, who was a very convincing winner at Luton Hoo recently.
Yes, he certainly was, and that good vein of form continues. And a fine shot from Connor there, as we have a look at the enormous physique of Jonathan Thompson. Must be 6'6", I think, Phil. He's a very big fellow, isn't he?
Well, you could say this final group is the long and short of it. Thompson and Kim.
Yeah, it's if they speak a lot together, Kim could have a bit of a crick in the neck by the time he's finished talking to Jonathan. The distinctive swing there of James Moore firing one over the top of the flag.
Now Kim's legs obscuring the hole. Not a lot in this putt. It will tell us an awful lot though. Oh, centre cut. No nerves displayed.
That's a fantastic start, because these first couple of holes are really the key to how the young fella settles down, and that's the best start he could have. And Robbie Busher rolling in a lovely putt. Greens are very good here, they're very true. Caversham Heath course has been prepared beautifully for the players this week. As we look at Hugo Dobson, his putt for a par on the first, and that isn't the start that he wanted.
We know from Luton Who that Connor can go low. Could be a threat.
Absolutely right. Success a couple of times on the EuroPro Tour prior to this season, and as you say, Phil, back at Luton Who.
As Thompson gets off to a birdie start, let's go over to Kit for the first time today on the third.
It's decision time for the players on the third tee. It's 392 yards on the card, but it's a big dog leg from left to right, so you can cut the corner. But how much do you take on? The safer play is probably a hybrid, pretty straight off the tee. You've got a mid-iron left in. If you're feeling ambitious, get the big dog out. Take it right over the bunkers, right over the corner, and then you're just left with a flick into the pin.
One note of caution on this hole though, Gary. There have been more double bogeys or worse here than anywhere else on the course.
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful risk or reward. As Kit told us, you can fire it down the right, but if you go just too far to the right, you're in those bushes that we can see behind there, and that's a lost ball for sure.
Now, we saw recently at Manning's Heath that Guy Woodman on wages day can go very low indeed.
Yeah, on his career he's certainly had some fantastically low scores. Good record, Guy Woodman, done well on all sorts of venues and occasions, and that's another wonderful shot in there.
So many players are adopting this kind of putting grip, and for James Moore, it works.
It certainly does. You're right, Phil. There are a lot of players using the claw grip. I think with greens sort of smoother, perhaps even a little bit quicker than they were in previous years. That very light hole with the right hand just stops any tendency to have a little flick with the right hand and close the putter face.
Now on the third, Stiggy Hodgson, who represented Great Britain and Ireland, not just in one Walker Cup, but two. Very accurate, but the same can't be said for Kim's tee shot on the second.
Perfect start for Kim with that birdie there on the first, but it's a lot more difficult for him now on two. He's only 134 yards to the pin, but just come and have a look at this lie. You've got this big tuft of grass laying flat sideways across the back of the ball. It's going to be virtually impossible to make contact with the ball without grass between the club face and the ball. That makes it really difficult to predict how this is going to release. We'll really get to see what kind of a shot maker he is here.
Very nicely described for us by Kit. And so, what can Kim do? Well, that looked a wonderful contact there. Just had the ball back in his stance, got the club coming in over that tuft. And he's done well. I think he was a little bit unlucky. I think coming out of that lie, he would have expected the ball just to release a bit more. But safely onto the green.
Now to catch Kim, someone's putter must get very hot indeed. Maybe it will be Woodman. He's got previous, as they say.
He has. He's played very well, holds a lot of good putts. So Stiggy Hodson after that very good approach shot. This from 7 feet. No bother at all.
What an immediate impact Jonathan Thompson made last year. Just a month after turning professional, he won a EuroPro Tour event at Mar Hall.
He's another example of just how good the standard of play has become on this tour. Lovely view there, just looking down. Neat little half swing, little break of the wrist, flicking the ball up into the air.
Now, this is Dave Coupland, a fellow countryman of Thompson, and he's won on the EuroPro Tour as well in 2013 at Mar Hall also.
Dave, 9 under par after 2 rounds, and key to that, not a single bogey on the card this week. How satisfying is that?
Yeah, I'm trying not to jinx that. So yeah, that's the target today again. So just playing little games with myself, trying not to have a bogey, and then the score will take care of itself, really.
What is it that you've done especially well over the first 2 rounds?
Just hitting my spots, strategy off the tee, and then that allows me to play the right shots into the greens and hit the right spots on the greens, which is key round here with the slopes and things.
You know what it takes to finish in the top 5 on the EuroPro Tour Order of Merit and play your way onto the Challenge Tour. Does that give you an advantage now we get down to the business end of the season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been up and down the last few years, so I've changed a few things last winter. I've prepared well this year. I seem to be getting stronger as the season goes on, so it's just a case of being patient and trusting the process, and hopefully it'll come off.
The leader's 4 shots clear, 5 shots clear of you, but aside from him it's very bunched, so how do you approach today?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously playing well, and in some respects you're probably fighting it out for second. However, if you do get off to a fast start and you get close to that lead, then things change, and hopefully that'll happen and we'll put a bit of pressure on him.
Coupland so far this year, his best results, a couple of tied 4ths at Ballykistine and McInnes Peninsula.
Neat player, Dave Coupland. And as he said himself in his interview there, he's been around some time with some up and down success. As we go back to the second and see our leader with this long putt. See how well he's judging the pace this morning. Extremely well. That's good. Everything's going to calm his nerves, and this is wonderful. Wonderful to have such a good young player to watch. It's fantastic.
Also fantastic, the level of scoring here. 57 players made the cut that fill at 2 under par. Notable casualties though. Sam Robertshaw 5th in the race to Amendoira, and Dermot McIlroy, who lies 8th. No problems for Steve Parry though. And that's a kick-in birdie.
A great shot. Nearly screwed back into the hole. As we go to the second, Jonathan Thompson. His birdie putt. Lovely look at his hands on the putter there. Traditional reverse overlap putting grip, no claw for him.
But after that, he might think about reverting to it.
You may do. I'm a little bit shy, that one. So Parry, inside a foot. Easiest birdie you'll probably have all day.
Now going back to Thompson, his approach wasn't the best, it was rather weak. So too the putt. So this will test his mental fortitude. Oh, test passed with flying colours.
All very calm. So now we have Coupland just got to keep this just inside the left edge of the hole. And he does that beautifully. Nice speed that went in at, Phil, didn't it? Really ran into the hole well.
Indeed. Not for the first time in recent weeks, Guy Woodman is making strides in the final round. 9 out of the 10 golfers featured on the leaderboard have dipped under par already, but Min Kyu Kim continues to dominate the Pentahotels Championship at Caversham Heath. The tale of the teenager continues after the break.
I'm here with Robert Witchard, who's the estate manager. Robert, thanks for having us. We're back for a second year. How is it having us here for the second year?
We're absolutely delighted to have you back. The course is looking in great shape. It's created a lot of local interest and we're thrilled to have you back once again.
What impact have you seen the EuroPro Tour have on Caversham?
Well, as you can see, we're extremely busy. Local interest, the bar's full, the restaurant's full, the golf course is full. It's just superb to put on such a great event.
And have you seen much of the golf? What are your thoughts on the standard?
I've seen quite a bit and the standard is extremely high. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody breaks the course record this week.
Wow,
it's
that'd
so
be
good.
Amazing. What plans have you got in place for Caversham and then Caversham with the EuroPro?
Well, we'd like to carry this on and we'd like to form a partnership with yourself for years to come. As I say, we're only a young course, we're 17 years old, and hopefully we can do this for many a year.
Well, that sounds good. Well, let's get back to the action on the course. Over to our commentators.
Thanks again, Imogen. Yes, the tour's received a warm welcome again at Caversham Heath, and the golfers have responded with pretty hot scoring. None more so than Min Kyu Kim, 15 under after 2 holes of the final round. The chasers badly in need of birdies. Mind you, there's an opportunity, Gary, on the risk-reward third.
Yes, there certainly is, and you can line up taking on these bunkers on the right, blast your driver over the edge of the gorse there and get it down maybe 40-50 yards short of the green, or you have the option of playing a 4-iron or maybe a little hybrid to the wide part of the fairway. Interesting sort of shaped green, 1 or 2 little humps and bumps like all of them here, but it's quite a big target for a short iron, so yeah, a birdie opportunity.
Don't you just love that rhythm?
It is, it's fantastic balance, and I'm so impressed with his nerve. I mean, look at this, it's classic. There's absolutely nothing up and down on plane, neat balance. You know, I mean, it completely belies being 16 years old. Remarkable.
Now, he flirted with the trees down the right-hand side of the 4th, did Busher. But that's bounding and scampering onto the surface. Well, an eagle putt, more realistically, 2 putts for a birdie.
Yeah, and big Jonathan Thompson just from the left semi-rough. Just trying to get one to release up the green. I think it probably just needed to land on there. Again, ball lying quite well. And as so often with professional golfers, the big men have a good touch. I remember my old man's great friend Dave Thomas would have a good touch, but Dave was prone on occasions with the old wedge to not have such a good touch.
Now this is Hodgson yet to make a bogey on the front 9. He loves this stretch of holes. In round 1, he was 5 under through 7.
Great scoring, but they are some good holes, and it's lovely being on a golf course that you have that opportunity for low scoring. I love low scoring.
It's been regulation scoring so far for Josh Lockery. 5 pars to begin with. And now over the water feature on 6. Every chance of ending that par run in a positive fashion.
Yeah, very good shot, just about pin high, and a good opportunity. as you mentioned, Phil, back to Robbie Busher. This long range effort for his eagle. He's running at the hole nicely. Yeah, very good effort, and should present no problem to offer him his birdie.
Now this to limit the damage somewhat on the third. No problem for Thompson. Big day for him. He's 6th in the race to Amendoira, and the top 5 at the end of the season, just to remind you, are promoted to the Challenge Tour.
This tricky one down the hill from Stiggy Hodson. Well read, well negotiated.
I think we can safely assume this one is going to find the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to present him much problem. Another birdie. Birdie par, birdie start. Whew. Busher tidying up his birdie. Yeah, very nice from the young man.
Always an added degree of complexity when you're coming across the fringe. Lockery judging that one pretty well, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's not easy, Phil, as you say. You're coming over 2 lengths of grass. The ball can so easily hop off the fringe and take a bit of sting out of the run at the hole. Parry, again just from the first cut of rough. This one's really scampering. Ooh, whoa down ball, whoa, whoa. Oh, yes, it's okay. Very close to the hole, just on the fringe.
I was mentioning Stiggy Hodgson's Walker Cup exploits. When he played in 2011, on the opposite side, the likes of Jordan Spieth, Peter Uline, Harris English, Russell Henley, Patrick Cantlay. What a side that was.
Fair players, you know, they've turned into, Phil.
And yet, at Royal Aberdeen, GB and Ireland won that match 14-12.
We had a fantastic team, and some of our players as well from that team have gone on to not quite the heroics of the Americans.
His favourite course is Pine Valley in New Jersey, not too far away from Merion, where he played in his first Walker Cup in 2009. Hodgson, a winner on this EuroPro Tour, and indeed on the Alps Tour as well.
Now, what can he do with this? He can knock it straight in the hole. My goodness. They're beginning to roll a few in now, Phil.
Stiggy's not his name, it's Eamon actually. He found a club in a dumpster when he was a very young child, and Stigger the Dump, the name stuck.
Yes, it's a nice bit of information that quite a number of our viewers may not know.
Lockery, no nickname, just Josh. And after 5 pars to open, his first birdie of the day. Up top, well, Thompson is down to join 4th. Hodgson and Parry are tied 2nd, but 5 in front, looking to stretch his lead. Kim.
Position A here for Kim on the 4th. It's a par 5, but he's only got 226 yards for his second shot. The pin is at the back of the green, but it's playing into a slight breeze. That'll help him hold it up, keep it short of that flag. Another superb chance for birdie.
He's helped by the KJ Choi Foundation, is Min Kyu Kim. And I'll tell you what, the great man who's won on the European and the PGA Tours will be very proud of what he's doing.
Yes, it's a tremendous thing that is happening with men's Korean golf. They're beginning to emulate what the ladies have been doing for some years. And yet again, I'm full of admiration for this swing. Okay, he hasn't quite carried it to the green, it's caught the bunker, but not a difficult lie.
Now, talking of bunkers, but maybe a more troublesome shot. This from McCarthy on 5. I think his playing partner summed it up. Good try.
So, let's have a look at the young man's sand play. Slid the club beautifully under the ball there. Just look at the length of that swing, but the smoothness of the stroke. That's a very, very fine shot that pretty much guarantees yet another birdie. It's good for viewers to watch. See how open he is. Club face very open, pointing to the right of the flag. Just trying to land the ball, as we can see, just left, so it can take that little slope down to the flag.
Left to right this for Parry on 5. He overread it. So did I, to be honest.
Yeah, it was trying to come back. I think you were on the right line, but it just didn't have any more than perhaps the left lip, Phil.
The founder of the Northwest Golf Academy at the Hart Common Golf Club in Bolton. He's trying to practice what he preaches.
Yeah, and on rolls Kim. Love the little touch of the cap.
Now this is George Mullins, who was tied 3rd after the first round with a 67. Replicating day 1 form.
McCarthy, been in the bunker, follows it up with a very nice putt.
Recently tied 2nd in the Matchroom Sport Championship at Luton Hoo, 2nd alone at Wychwood Park. Oh no, but that was a really glaring error from Jonathan Thompson.
I have to say, it almost looked easier to hold that than miss it, and it went further past than he was to start off with. He's in disbelief. Did I misread it? Did I have a little jab with the hand? Not sure.
All tidy stuff. Now for Kim on 5. Doesn't find the fairway, but the angle of attack is more than reasonable.
Yes, that wasn't a bad position at all to be in there. Popped it nicely on the green. And the Kim ship rolls merrily on.
We're thoroughly impressed, and I know that Kit is too.
Kim showed excellent maturity by walking up to the green to check out how it lay before hitting his pitch in there, and he's been rewarded. He's just about crept it up onto the top tier, and he's now got a very makeable 10-foot putt for birdie.
Well, on the tough 7th, Woodman for a par. Never a bad thing here. Surprising. First we see Thompson miss from very short range, and then it's ditto for Woodman.
Min-Q on that top level. Keep it inside the hole. Ooh. I think he thought it was in, then suddenly it veered to the edge of the hole, but it took the necessary drop, Phil.
Well, the rain's really starting to fall now, and I think he showed tremendous concentration there. He represents golf mind career, and he's got a powerful mind. That was Mullins just missing out on the first par 3 on the course, the 8th. Only a par. Well then, Caversham Heath was hit by a deluge. And with thunder and lightning in the vicinity, the decision was made to suspend play.
We thought 1 was go in, 2, 3 is stay out here, And they just did 2, so we don't know what to do. That hole was flooded, look at it. There's 2. Are we supposed to go in? I don't know. Going in or not? Did you bring the sun cream? Yeah. Sun cream? You got sun cream?
Of course.
Yeah?
Sun cream, yes.
Speedos? Bucket and spade?
Flippers, snorkel.
When the storm seemed to abate, the players were informed that the suspension was over and the action could recommence. But when they reached their positions on the course, conditions deteriorated again. Hence, another suspension was called before a ball had been struck. It was time to eat, sleep, have a laugh, avoid frustration and catch up with Jack Colgate.
Jack, we know you love playing in the rain. You did well at McInnes. Don't own any waterproofs. How are you feeling about today?
Feeling fantastic about today, yeah. Looking forward to getting back out there.
How difficult is it for you guys to stay focused in a situation like this?
Depends where you are on the leaderboard. I'm struggling a little bit with focus today. I'm not going very well out there.
How do you stay kind of in the zone and calm and ready to play again in these situations?
Talk to my wife, play games. Yeah, just sort of stretch.
I think you just have to literally just stay as calm as you possibly can, because it's pretty frustrating, you know, walking in, walking out, and we're not exactly the closest to the clubhouse, so you just have to just take it as it comes.
Min Kyu Kim leads by 7 from Steve Parry. He's very much on course to create EuroPro Tour history, but first the South Korean, and indeed everyone else, needs a break from the weather.
So Kit, it's raining, the players have come in. What's going on?
Yeah, we're in the midst of the golfing hokey cokey at the moment. In, out, and unfortunately the players are in at the moment. We've got lightning and rain in the area and it's a health and safety issue. Of course, we can't play when there's lightning in the air, so the players are in until that clears away. We don't know quite when that's going to be at the moment. We're expecting another update in about 30 minutes.
Well, fingers crossed the players can get out there and we can carry on with the tournament. See you after the break.
Good news after an extremely lengthy, highly frustrating delay. The skies over Caversham Heath have cleared, and the closing round of the Pentahotels Championship, the 12th event of the EuroPro Tour season, can get back underway. And if you pardon the pun, it's difficult to see anything raining on the parade of 16-year-old sensation Min Kyu Kim. After his blistering start to the round, Kim's 4-stroke overnight lead has been increased to 7.
Yes, a very frustrating delay for players, officials and everything. The thunderstorm came suddenly and then just kept rumbling round Caversham Heath. But we're back and playing again now, and there we have Nick McCarthy firing one into the front of the 6th.
Now, the last time we saw Guy Woodman, just before the suspension, he missed a short putt for par on 7, still 1 under for the day, and with a birdie chance here on the relatively short par 4 9th.
Yes, the tee has been pushed up on the 9th today, so they've got a chance of going for the green with their tee shots. As we look at McCarthy's eagle attempt coming up the slope. Come on, come on. Yeah, line, I suspect, might have been quite good, but the pace was definitely lacking.
Little right to left this one. Just about enough. Good birdie.
Uphill. Firm. Yep. Improves the scorecard.
The par 4 9th is drivable if you're feeling aggressive, and with the wind helping today, I can't see many of our players choosing to lay up here. That pin is in the back left, so anything a little bit short and you've got a lot of green to work with to get up and down for birdie.
James Moore here. I think the technical term, he's going to give this some welly.
Yep. As Kit said, it is drivable. Tees up. but you need to launch one high to just get it over the corner of the trees. The difficulty is that there's a lot of bunkers just in front of this green, and if you pitch in one of those, you could have a really, really nasty lie. But that's a good one from Mort. He's found the putting service.
Kim on 6 again. Fairway found. He's just relentless.
And you could hear there, nice click of the club on the ball. So a good contact. And there it is, right in the middle of the green.
He needs that putt to be 6 under par for the round after 6 holes.
It really is quite remarkable. I know I keep going on about it, but it's remarkable when this is, you know, really your first season, you're so young, last round. You know, he's a brilliant player, he's got no nerve, doesn't know how difficult it is yet. I suppose that's the thing, Phil.
That hole, though, is a little difficult in a bowl, and if you miss it, up and down, tough, tough, tough.
Jonathan Thompson whipping his arms through that one as he launches it up into the air. Good swing.
Nick McCarthy recently made his Open Championship debut at Birkdale after qualifying at the neighbouring Hillside course. And there's a family connection with the Open because his father, who was a former England international, David, caddied for Howard Clark in the 1981 Open at Royal St George's.
Well, there you're a mine of information, Phil. I wish I knew all these things. Don't know how you store them in your brain.
I think it's called writing them down. Now, James Moore isn't down for an eagle, but after finding the green, it's going to be a tap-in birdie.
Thompson just got to negotiate this little rise in the green. And he's negotiated the speed. There, the gesture. Oh, that was only the line. Oh, I just didn't quite get it. Easy birdie, though.
Yes, and from one Yorkshireman to another. Nick McCarthy hails from the magnificent Moortown Golf Club in Leeds. On the EuroPro Tour, he's so often there or thereabouts, but he's not a regular trophy lifter. He's talking to Kit.
You've been something of a top 10 machine on this tour over the years, but you've not won since 2010, so what's been missing?
Yeah, I know, it's just, you know, I've put myself up there a lot of times, and you know, like you say, I've finished top 10 a lot. It's just getting over the line. It's not that I've finished badly. It's just the way it goes. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck. I believe that, you know, you just need a little bit of help to get there. You know, so hopefully it'll come.
9 under par for 2 rounds. What is it that you've done especially well this week?
I haven't actually struck it that well, so I've got it around the course well. I've scored well. I've been pretty tidy around the greens, which has been the key. So yeah, hopefully I can get striking the ball today and make a few more birdies.
Yeah, where's your head at when you're not striking it well, but you are scoring well? Because obviously there's plenty of positives to take there, but you want to be flushing it. So how do you approach it when the game's like that?
You kind of, I know my bad shots quite well, so I know where the ball's going to be going. And so I'll just play with that. I don't try and fix anything out on the course. I just try and play with where it's going and just basically keep hitting fairways, hitting greens, and then if I hole a few putts, then that's a bonus.
And what would it mean to you if you did win today?
That would be brilliant. You know, it'd be put me right up at the top of the near the top of the leaderboard. You know, give me a good chance of top 5 Challenge Tour. So it'd mean a lot.
On the 7th at 466 yards, this is the second toughest hole on the course. McCarthy putting for a birdie. And what a bonus that is. Bogeys here, Gary, have been outnumbering birdies almost 3-1.
Very tough hole without having the very difficult pin placement that's been set for this last day. So that really is a strike against the head.
James Moore attached to the Rockcliffe Hall course, which a few years ago held a tremendous shootout for the English Seniors Open title. Santiago Luna and Cesar Monasterio going head to head. I remember that one really well.
Steve Parry won't want to remember that one as it slips by.
Now Kim, just for the 20 under par.
Gosh, got the strength, but a misread. That's the first time he's been anywhere away from the hole. But, it's very tidy up to the hole side. Steady. He's very refreshing because he walks up and just sort of taps those in, and so often, I mean, it was a foot away and we see them mark and line up, and no wonder there's a lot of waste of time.
It might be a waste of time for the rest trying to catch him. Kim, a third of the round in the books, is 8 clear.
Quite remarkable after half a dozen holes. As we go to the drivable 9th, Stiggy Hodson, do you know, I don't think he held back on that one. Watching closely, peeping under those trees, the tee just behind those trees that we're looking back at.
Well, if we see a replay of this, you might see an awful amount of whip in the club. There it goes.
If he'd have hit his neck any harder, he might have snapped the shaft on the back of his neck.
So Kim to this tough 7th, as you say. Oh, and up and down from there will test him in the extreme.
That really will. It didn't pitch all that far away from the pin, but he missed there on the wrong side, and that's going to be very tight. Robbie Busher now. Winding himself up. Oh. Foot slipped, right hand off. It may have got away on the right, I suspect, a bit.
Yes, conditions damp underfoot after the storm, and I think in the end he did well to make such a powerful contact. No such problems for Jonathan Thompson, down on 7.
Thompson only has 131 yards in here on the 7th. Now the pin is tucked way back right on a little shelf. The key here after all the rain, can he land it and not spin it back down onto the shelf below him?
This is one of the big advantages when you are an extremely powerful driver of the ball. Get that lofted club in your hand and he can take on this awkward little shelf that Kit was telling us about. Will it hold? Will it hold just?
Now here's the 5'4" bulldog that is Stiggy Hodgson.
Kim with this awkward pitch from quite well below the level of the green. As you could see, no green to work with. Tried to be extremely clever with it, but it didn't come off.
So we saw Busher's slip up off the tee in terms of his back foot slipping, but nevertheless more than likely he's going to leave the hole with a birdie.
As we return to Kim, and the first real sort of test that he's had. This one's difficult, using the shoulder of the green there. That really is excellent stuff. That's, he could have misjudged that one as well, and he looks like he'll get out by only dropping one shot.
Hodgson is trying to pick one up. Again, left to right, just feeding down there. He's a really fierce competitor.
Thompson. It's a good opportunity for his birdie. Oh, right over the edge of the hole. But he'll tap that one in.
Yes, as did Kim for bogey on that same hole, the 7th. Well, a little problem on the tee for Busher, but not a problem on the green.
No, not at all. And that's a good result. As we whiz back to the tee and watch Dave Coupland whipping his hands into that one. And what's he managed to do with it? Another one just creeping maybe a couple of inches on the green, it's right on the fringe. And the very interesting par 5 11th, dogleg to the right, can have a go at the green for 2, but generally most rewards have come by just playing just in front of that, as we saw James Moore there.
Hodgson, only his 3rd start on the EuroPro Tour this season. Missed the cut at Luton Hoo, but tied 6th at Manning's Heath. And at the moment on track for something significantly better here.
Coupland just set this off just outside the left of the hole. Line was looking all right, but no legs.
You have to believe that with the storm we had and the ferocity of it, the greens might have slowed down a tad.
No doubt of that, Phil. There was a lot of water on these greens, and they did very well to drain away, and the squeegeeing of the volunteers. Brilliant effort.
As it was from Moore there, judging his birdie putt on 11 to perfection.
Coupland just got to be a little bit careful with this. No trouble at all. Nice birdie.
Now Busher on 11. Still some yardage to traverse. Oh, and what's that, one of the unmentionables?
I think it might have been a little bit near the pipey end of that one.
But you can't shank a putt. Thompson making forward progress.
Busher, who's having a few trials and tribulations on that one. Missed the green to the right. This is 5th shot. So this to save his par, which he's not going to do, but I think he, again, has given himself a chance of only dropping 1.
Kim's looked the definition of solid so far today, and he certainly was with that putt.
Yeah, disappointing dropping 1 where most will be picking up a shot, but these things happen.
The 417-yard 12th, James Moore, fairway found. He needs to do something similar to what he did in the first round on the way to winning the Cobra Puma Championship at Hawkstone Park last year when he shot a 62.
Yeah, there are some very good low scoring this last couple of seasons. And this is Coupland remembering the theory that the ball's round and it will roll.
Yes, Moore at Hawkstone Park was on fire. 62, 70, 65 to capture that title. They're not doing too badly here.
Can Coupland convert that good little chip and run? Yes, he can. Had a little look all the way around the hole, but took the necessary dive to the bottom of the cup.
Coupland's now in a four-way tie for 4th place. Thompson and Hodgson look to be heading for significant Race to Amendoira points, but heading to the back 9, Kim's out on his own, 6 clear at Caversham Heath. Right now, the Pentahotels Championship is a one-man show.
Well, I'm with Jonathan Thompson, so we're going to get to know you in this buggy chat. If you can take it away, we've got some questions from Twitter. We've got from Kelly UK, what would you do if golf didn't exist? It's not a bad question.
Yeah, this is a good question actually. Well, my dad's a chef and he's always been a chef, so I'm guessing I would probably have gone down that route.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be so bad, hanging out in the kitchen. Sam Sport, who would be your dream 4-ball?
Henrik Stenson, Tiger Woods, probably Phil Mickelson, and The Rock.
And then you'll be around there somewhere, maybe as a caddy. Okay, so Sherry, what have you been told off for on a golf course?
Fair few times for driving the ball through groups.
Ed, how do you calm nerves before you get up there?
I just try and focus on the job in hand, not think about the outcome, just think about what I'm going out to do, play my game. There's always going to be some nerves, but I try and just think, you know, what will be, and let's go out and play golf.
Chris asks, where do you need the most work?
Most work, I think, short game, you know, it's always been my Achilles heel.
It's where the game can be lost or won, really.
Yeah.
Zanzara asks, how do you like your eggs?
Poached.
Tiger Fantastic, what would your autobiography be called?
Well, it would definitely have something with Jigger in it. That's my nickname, so it would definitely be something along those lines.
And how'd you get a nickname like that?
Basically, when I was a young kid, I was always jigging about, dancing, and it was come from a neighbour. A next door neighbour was like, "Oh, Johnny Jig," and then stuck ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. Some people, actually at home, people never call me Jonathan, ever.
Well, Jigger, thanks so much for all your
cheers.
answers.
Thank you.
Good luck on the course.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Well, Gary, he's Jigger to us from now on. And Jonathan would certainly be doing a jig if he could somehow win the Pentahotels Championship. It would require a combination of 2 factors, a spectacular back 9 from him, not to mention a collapse from the youngster in charge at Caversham Heath, Min Kyu Kim, who is 6 clear, 8 holes to play.
Now let's take a look at this extremely difficult par 4 14th, 444 yards. Tough driving hole, got to avoid these bunkers. Just about level with that bunker we're passing is where the players go. It's been into the wind all this week, so it's played extremely long, and many of the players have required 2 woods. Once you've found the green, it's not easy because there's lots of different levels, and the pin has been tucked away.
Well, just to put some numbers on what you were saying, Gary, 18 birdies in total during the week, as we see James Moore tee off. 109 bogeys. Fewest number of birdies, most number of bogeys. The hole is playing just a fraction over a third of a shot over its par.
Yes, very demanding, Phil. As we return to Min Kyu, who's put the ball in a very nice position for his 3rd shot, and, as you would expect, played an extremely good 3rd.
At 202 yards, the 13th is the longest of the 3 par 3s here at Caversham Heath. Today, the pin is in the centre, but there's a little bit of breeze helping and left to right. That'll help players work it in, but you don't want to ride it too much because just a few paces right of the pin, you've got this little slope that feeds off. And if you go even further, you've got 3 big bunkers. Now, you do not want to be having to get up and down from one of these today.
You know, when he was still 19 years of age, Gary, Stiggy Hodgson had made 19 holes in 1. But I think an ace on this particular hole today would be asking something.
It would. That's a remarkable record, though. 19. Gosh, such a short time. But as Kit told us, feeding it in from the left, that's a pretty good shot.
Now, the way that Thompson is looking at this ball, it's perhaps not the best of lies. Well, if it was a poor lie, he's played it brilliantly.
Yeah, and I think the way he played that, it was difficult. That was very good. Now, James Moore on this very tough 14th, but he's found the perfect spot off the tee. Whips into it. Towering shot. And a very fine shot indeed.
So Kim here to extend his already immense lead. He's having to deal with the pressure of not just being a massive front runner, but also trying to go wire to wire. 65 in the first round, outright leader. Added to that a 67 in the second round, outright leader again, and now he's all alone.
Robbie Busher, playing from the bunker at the back right of this 13th green, had to haul it up over there. It was a difficult shot. He's done a good job.
Back on the 11th, Thompson for a share of second place. No mistake, but it's a distant second. 6 adrift of Kim.
This is a slippery putt for Stiggy Hodson here, coming down and across the slope. If you get this one wrong, it can make you look a little foolish. But a good job. Hole side.
And a little bit of retro fashion going on with the jumper. Looks a little bit like Nick Faldo in the 80s.
Yeah, diamonds are forever.
James Moore turned professional 7 years ago. His role model is one of our co-commentators, John E. Morgan. I can think of worse people to look up to. And this season he's had some good results. 3rd at Studley Wood in the PDC Championship, tied 6th at the Nokia Masters. He's on the fringes of the promotion chase.
Yes, he doesn't disappoint, James Moore. He plays nicely week in, week out. And that's a beautiful putt. And a rare bird indeed there. A birdie on the 14th. Deserves a big smile, that one.
Now this really would be some sand safe. Ah, shame. And so Busher sliding down the standings. And here are those standings. It's looking really good for Min Kyu Kim. 6 in front.
We have a quick look at the 13th. Flat hole. The difficulty really is the angle and the narrowness of the green. It sort of lies from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and it really isn't very deep when you're coming at it from the tee. So it's extremely easy to let one go into the bunkers down the right hand side, and if you play too safe on the left side of this green, you've got a wicked treacherous putt coming down the green.
Now here's Steve Parry, very experienced. Former #1 in the Northern Region PGA, that was in 2010, 3 years after playing on the Asian Tour. He's taken part in the Open Championship, the BMW PGA at Wentworth as well, but they're down amongst the dead men.
Yeah, Phil, that's a horrid spot because the grass is really long over there.
The 15th, not so penal though. Josh Lockery. That for birdie. Fast approaching 200 birdies on that hole already this week, and over 20 eagles.
Well, that bunker shot from Thompson sounded a bit funny, but it's a very good result. Again, it's always difficult after heavy rain. The sand gets compacted. And now back to the trials and tribulations of Parry. He had to hit that hard to get it out of that grass. And there you can see the sharp downhill, off the green, over the fringe, long grass.
Lockery did make his birdie on 15. Statistically the easiest hole on the golf course.
Kim putting from the fringe, not far from the hole. And looking like another hole fairly safely negotiated.
That's all he needs. Be conservative and the silverware will be his.
Yeah, Phil, you're right. So, Steve Parry, what can he do here? Lovely looking chip and run. Come on. Give it a try.
And after the tee shot, I think a bogey more than acceptable to him.
Thompson now. He's had one or two of those today that they've all just missed on the left-hand side.
He's 6th in the race to Amendoira, just outside the promotion places at the moment. And at the end of the season, £10 could make the difference. One missed putt could make the difference.
It certainly could. It's tight and very good, this tour now. Top of it, extremely good. So we have a look at Sam Connor. Yeah, the 15th has been an easy par 5 this week, playing downwind, short in terms of modern day par 5s as well. And that was a bit of a nasty jab, although it was on line. It was probably a good job it hit the hole.
Anywhere on the surface will do.
Maintained his rhythm very well there. Club short, that one on the green, but probably 18 yards short of the pin.
.2017 so far, 3rd at Close House, Nick McCarthy. Tied 10th at Frilford Heath, tied 3rd at the Granky Championship at Camberwell when he shot rounds of 68, 66 and 63, but that putt was a disappointment.
Well, Sam Connor certainly got a read off his chip because it clipped the edge of the hole, so he knows it's pretty straight going back, which he didn't forget and duly converted.
One of the perks for him winning at Luton Hoo, he gets into the Bridgestone Challenge again at Luton Hoo on the Challenge Tour in a few weeks' time.
That's a nice little bonus. Now Kim needs to keep this above the hole here, and he's really let that go. Oh dear. Still going. Still going. Might not even stay on the green.
Well, I think it's just about stopped. The American term there, de-greening it, came to mind at one point.
Yeah, wide and not handsome. Busher tickling that one along and just giving it enough to topple in. This isn't easy. It's up the hill, but it's not dead straight. Just on the very edge of the hole. He's gone outside the edge. Still, he's got one or two still to play with, Phil, so I don't suppose he's hitting the panic button just yet.
Well, he certainly shouldn't. I actually said there on the tee, didn't I? Anywhere on the green would do. He put it on the green, but then 3-putted. Mind you, when you've got a 6-shot lead with 5 holes to play, there is no cause for undue alarm. James Moore, Stiggy Hodgson and Jonathan Thompson now tied in 2nd place. More from Caversham Heath, and this, the Pentahotels Championship, in just a moment. Welcome back to Caversham Heath in Berkshire, England, and the final round of the Pentahotels Championship, the 12th event of the EuroPro Tour season. It's being entirely dominated by a 16-year-old, would you believe, from South Korea, Min Kyu Kim, 6 clear of Stiggy Hodgson, Jonathan Thompson, and James Moore, who's on the 16th, together with Kit.
The 16th is a demanding par 4 for our players as they head home. It measures 409 yards on the card. The fairway is flanked by 2 bunkers on the left and 2 on the right as you look down the hole. But you want to be flying straight over the top of those bunkers on the right as the fairway slithers around behind it. From there, it's a mid-iron into a green protected by water at the front. We've just had a lot of rain though, so it's playing soft and our players can take dead aim at the pin.
As we join James Moore, looks as though he's in trouble there, but he's actually, that's where the fairway goes out, missed the bunkers. And today the pin in a very tricky place on the 16th, and Moore hasn't made it.
Kim's in a very accustomed position, middle of the fairway on 14. But the golfing gods have served up another lengthy putt. He 3-putted from that kind of range on 13, and he's faced with the same examination again.
Yeah, it is funny in golf how often you fail a test and you're given the test again straight away. As we look at Nick McCarthy. Yeah, pretty good effort on this easiest of the par 5s.
Thompson has the distinction at number 6 in the race to Amanduira of being the highest ranked player on the money list without a victory. I don't think that victory is going to come today, but you have to believe by the end of the season he will be there or thereabouts promotion wise.
Yes, he's been consistent. See there, it's a double tier green, this one. It shares it with the 6th and the 16th. Lots of slopes on it. And today the pin almost straddling the 2 greens.
With his approach put on 13, there was a wholesale misjudgment from Min Kyu Kim. That was in terms of line. There, it's a misjudgment in terms of pace.
Yes, the old putting gods have deserted him just for a moment or two. Nice little chip from McCarthy. Now, much closer, but this is almost more difficult than the first putt because this is sharply downhill. It'll take some holing, this one.
Well, the one thing that's very noticeable about his swing is that the head stays down in a perfectly orthodox manner, but there the head came up. He took a peek at that.
Yes, the head was on the move, the shoulders were on the move. But I guess coming towards the end, a few nerves jangling as we watch McCarthy secure his birdie.
For par on 14, Thompson. No mistake.
He's doing his best to try and put a little pressure on the young fella. It's James Moore, after his troubles from bunker to green. And it's going to be a shot gone.
As for the leaders, Gary, they're now faced with the friendly 15th.
It's not a difficult par 5, although if you let the tee shot go a little bit to the right by this bunker, the rough was very, very thick over there. And earlier in the week, the wind was more across from the left. Today it's downwind, so it's really a good drive and a middle iron. This bunker on the left doesn't come into play, and it's a very big target and one of the flatter greens at Caversham Heath. So good opportunity for an eagle if you find the green in 2.
Well, Kim has played the par 5s very well, and this is no exception. Birdie for him on 15 on the first 2 days.
Yes, the swing, lovely rhythm, metronomic. And although it's slid to the right, that first cut is not too difficult, and it's a good line to approach the green as we scoot it forward to the 16th, and Stiggy Hodson Yeah, not bad. One of those holes, just try and get out with a par.
Well, it sounded good, but he should know where it is. Well, it skirted the bunker, in the rough, and from there, and up and down, well within his capabilities.
Yes, I think he perhaps had a little bit of luck by just jumping over that, because it is quite a deep bunker, that one, and it's probably a little bit easier chipping. Hodgson, in he goes. Another hole safely negotiated, and he's heading for a good payday.
As is Thompson. He eagled the 15th on day one. That left for birdie. Well, we saw James Moore make bogey on 16. I'm afraid he made bogey on 17 as well. So down to 9 under.
Kim, pop it up over this bit of grass, let it release out to the hole, and he's done all of that rather well. Settled the nerves after those couple of drop shots.
198 yards, the 17th. For Hodgson so far this week on this hole, a par and a birdie.
Another tough par 3. They're good par 3s on this golf course, and that's an excellent shot because the pin today is well in the back right.
Josh Lockery. Right on line, just a little short. Now this is Jonathan Thompson, favourite course, the old course at Sunningdale. His role model is Henrik Stenson, and after the way he won the Open at Royal Troon last year, I'm with you there, Jonathan.
He's on the correct level of this green, and this is pretty straight putt. Yeah, nicely done.
He's had some setbacks today, hasn't he? But every time he just seems to get on with it. He's got a very good attitude.
He has. He was very calm. I was watching him when he was having a bite of breakfast this morning. He seemed very calm. And I'm sure James and I are not feeling quite so calm, coming off a couple of bogeys. And that one nipping back to the lower level. Big step there, you can see. Often the television flattens them out, but that's a big step if you can see it as clearly as that.
This time the putting boots have been laced up again for Kim. Birdie, birdie, birdie on 15 this week. Birdies everywhere.
Hodgson, excellent tee shot. About an inch outside the right, this one, if he's going to hole it. Boom. How do you like that?
Looks disconsolate, but I don't know why. He's currently in a share of second place with Thompson, albeit 5 adrift of Kim, and those back-to-back bogeys for James Moore have proved expensive.
Always very difficult judging line and length when you've got such a big step to come up over, and that's probably about as good a putt as you can expect.
Side-on view of the swing of Hodgson. No quarter given.
No, he certainly powers through. Hits the ball a long way for a man of not enormous stature. Nice looking 18th hole, this one, up through a valley as you drive it through there. And as we rush forward to Lockery on the green.
Finish.
He's just going to tap in and complete the day. A round of 72, which here is one under the card. 800 in total. Satisfying week.
So we take a look at the 16th. Kit was telling us earlier, it's a difficult drive actually, because if you hit too far down the left, you can skip past those bunkers. There's some terrible jungle down there. So ideally, just over the bunkers on the right allows you to see the green, and you can see the double tier shared green. And today, the pin is right over that bunker that we're looking at there.
Now down there, honestly, is Kim. The shot is played. He's run around to see where he's gone, and oh, lovely.
Robbie Busher on his last hole of the tournament. So not holding back, tee up quick, obviously down the fairway. Slap bang in the middle. Well done, Robbie. James Moore tidying up.
Yeah, that's his third top 10 of the season, but standing on 16T, he would have wanted more. Talking of 16, issues for Thompson.
Over the back of the green is absolute position Z for Thompson here on the 16th. He's only got a couple of paces of green before the flag, and then it all slopes away to that bunker at the front. I can't see him getting up and down from here. If he does, it'll be an absolute worldie of a flop shot to get it close.
First though, let's take a look at Sam Connor from the semi-rough on 18. You mentioned, Gary, you won twice in 2015, and he was promoted in the same class, as we see a class shot there. He was promoted in the same class as Jordan Smith and Aaron Ryan. Look what they're achieving at higher levels.
They've certainly gone on for wonders, and I think Sam was a bit unlucky because he actually suffered quite a lot of injury, which is why he's come back to the EuroPro Tour. Now, Kit told us all about it, and does Jonathan Thompson have a worldie of a flop shot? Well, he hauled it up in the air, but didn't hit it quite far enough, as you can see.
With Thompson's problems on 16, you have to think a birdie here at 18 could wrap up second place. Oh, in the air, he would have liked that.
Yeah, absolutely bang on the pin. From the fringe, very delicate.
That's going to be his third bogey of the day, thankfully outweighed by 4 birdies so far.
Robbie Busher looking straight at the green and the pin. And has he got the right distance to get onto that top tier? Very good, using the little shoulder at the right to bring the ball back.
This is the profile of our leader. Just a few holes away now from becoming the youngest ever winner on the EuroPro Tour. What an achievement.
I've been very impressed with all his shot, but I have to say this second shot here has been the most impressive all day, and converted it as well. Fantastic young man.
Now this is such a tough putt to judge, and he's playing for high stakes, Hodgson. Work left, as they say.
Yes, a bit of a body blow that, and Thompson came up reeling.
Busher. Close out. Yes, he can. He can close out with a highlight. A birdie on 18. After a double bogey on 17.
Yes, definitely a bit of a curate's egg scorecard there for Robbie today.
Now, really good etiquette being shown here. Sam Connor a little down the field, so just tidying up, because he realises how important Hodgson's putt coming up will be. Not the day he envisaged. Dropping 3 shots in the last couple of holes.
Yes, very important, and not the easiest putt. Just on the right edge of the hole. Yeah, well done. Good score from Stiggy Hodgson, 69. Some drop shots, but all in all, pretty good, Phil.
Yes, he made 6 birdies today, took a run at it, and he looks like being the runner-up. That said, though, with one hand and several fingers on the trophy, Min Kyu Kim, 18 under par, 2 holes to play, and 6 shots clear. A totally dominant force at the Pentahotels Championship. We'll dot the I's and cross the T's after the break. With the lengthy delay we've had at the Pentahotels Championship here at Caversham Heath, it is getting quite late. It's early morning in South Korea, and we're going to see the dawning, I do believe, of a new golfing star. Min Kyu Kim, 6 shots clear, a couple of holes to play. But what about the minor positions? Well, Nick McCarthy is in line for his 4th top 10 finish of the season, and like Kit, he's on the 18th.
The 18th hole is 427 yards off the tips. It's flanked by bunkers left and right, and it's imperative that you find the fairway. You're going to want the control into a pin that's tucked way back left. Spin control and trajectory is everything on your approach.
Now we're going to see a very nice swing here. Textbook.
Yeah, lovely action that from McCarthy. Great looking swing. And a wonderful result.
Miles down there.
Dave Coupland, not quite the same sort of swing. Much more, could say slightly old-fashioned. Hands and arms, not as much body action. Nonetheless, good result.
And Gary, 17 is a good par 3.
Yeah, it certainly is. 198 yards. Tee very slightly higher than the green, so you can see most of this. This water, lovely feature, but doesn't really come into play for these players. Penalises the poor old amateur. Again, a green that's wide across, but not very deep, so club selection really important, and a very tough pin to take on today on that back right.
Just thinking about Min Kyu Kim, you know. He was in with a really good chance at Wychwood last week. Shot a 73 in the final round. The tournament eventually won by James Adams. But he's learned from that, and he's not folded today.
No, not at all. That was a great shot. And, you know, for a young body, he's not too willowy. So many 16-year-olds, they're like foals. You know, they're all legs and like baby every animal. So for particularly a young boy at 16, great swing.
Yes, compact, as indeed is Dave Coupland, who's had a couple of top 3s on the Challenge Tour. And you can see why with the standard of that shot.
So, Jonathan Thompson, long putt, and as you could see, a really big swing, and he's judged it almost to perfection. That is a very, very good effort.
So he now knows what he needs to do. If he makes a birdie on 18, he will share second place with Hodgson. Not been a good back nine though for Steve Parry. Bogeys on 13 and 17.
Kim following his tee shot that was dead on line to the pin, putting more or less straight up the slope. Ooh, slope's quite steep and it's fooled him a bit. Left himself rather more than he would have wanted to have to deal with there.
Almost 8 o'clock in the evening now. It's getting rather dark. The camera's actually making it look a little lighter than it is. And McCarthy there came so close to finding his range. Just a little bit of a spin on the ball and down the slope it goes.
You're right, Phil, as we look out, it is very gloomy.
Unlike the future for Kim. Min Kyu Kim. But there's hardly a Miss Kyu Kim.
No, there's been very few miscues, and he's been a breath of fresh air to watch.
Well, it's going to be a tap-in par for Parry. And his best finish of the season. Before this, it was tied 12th at Lunkhurst Hall.
Quick look at the 18th, as Kit told us earlier. It's through this valley, these bunkers come into play if you let the ball leak away, but ideally it's an inviting tee shot because you are looking up the valley. And then really today it's all about choosing the right club and controlling the spin to try and get on this very small top tier. But the key is for Kim is just to get that last tee shot in the fairway.
Unlike yesterday when he made a double bogey here after a very wild opening effort.
Well, that's gone into a very similar place. I mean, that is miles offline, Phil.
Some holes don't fit the eye, as they say.
He obviously doesn't like this one because he's hardly missed a fairway, but that, when he's missed the fairway by 40 yards.
No birdie for McCarthy. Now, I don't want to be a harbinger of doom, but on the 18th, we've seen 8 scores of 7 or more this week. Surely not a dramatic twist right at the death.
Well, you never know. Sure, he'll be launching a provisional ball away in just a second, in case that first one can't be found.
That's better. He said last night, actually, that the psychological training he's received in South Korea helped him not to dwell on the 6 he made on this hole in round 2. Looks pretty chipper.
He did. He was smiling and trotting down to have a look for his golf ball as we return to Dave Coupland up on the green. And he can close out with a nice birdie.
Always a good feeling. And double digits under the card. Now this tiny putt. Yeah, Nick McCarthy, no sweat. He's going to finish in a tie for 4th place. And 3 friends from the north. All shaking hands, very amicable.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoyed the company.
Back down the fairway, we find Kim, who obviously didn't manage to find his original tee shot because this is where his provisional ball finished. Now, Has he hit a good straight one here? Indeed he has. Oh, that's a magnificent shot. So that will probably be good enough. Yeah, after that fright. It's interesting, Phil, you saying how the mind helping keeps him calm.
It's been hard to keep calm for Hugo Dobson, though. Might have realised that today wasn't going to be too productive with bogeys on the first 3 holes. But he could finish with a birdie. That to get back to 7 under.
Jonathan Thompson needs to get this close to tie Stiggy, or hole it if he's going to jump over him. It's a very good shot, spinning back to pin high.
There's no overstating what's next for Thompson. Here's Kit.
Well, this is a massive birdie putt for Thompson on 18. If he holds it, it would get him into a share for second place, and that's a lot of extra change in his pocket as he rolls out of Caversham Heath. It's a tricky one to read, but I think it's just going to come about a cup from the left.
Kit with 3 layers on. The English summer. Now come on, Jonathan. Money putt. Oh.
Yeah, Kit gave us a good read, and he just didn't quite borrow that 4 inches or so outside. So he's going to finish behind Stiggy Hodson.
And I don't think he's done enough to go above Sam Robertshaw in the standings. So with Min Kyu Kim winning, Thompson, I think, is going to be 7th on the race to Amantuera.
So can Kim salvage a bogey? No, but it's not necessary. Had a very comfortable lead coming down this hole, so the 6 doesn't make any difference at all.
Yes, I don't think he understands the convention of the champion should hold the last putt, so he tapped in before Dobson as his birdie attempt. And Gary, after a week of fantastic golf at Caversham Heath, entirely appropriate that the last action should be a birdie.
Quite right, Phil. Yeah, it's been a great week, and lovely to have a new young champion.
Yes, the youngest ever. Min Kyu Kim is the Pentahotels Championship winner, and straight into the promotion zone on the EuroPro Tour. Now, I can tell you that when the cards were signed, it was discovered that Kim had erroneously signed for a bogey on the 3rd, when in fact we saw he made a birdie. But despite those 2 shots being given back to the field, he still prevails, and comfortably. Here's the champion.
I started with a 4-stroke lead and was still very nervous with the score difference. I try my best to focus on only my play. I think I could win because I played well throughout without a collapse.
Thought for myself, for a change really. Rather relied on other people. So I went back to do a few things I did when I was a kid. So yeah, just that, and I knew I was playing well, so just believed as well, you know, and it was there. So simple things really.
Despite finishing 3rd here, Jonathan Thompson drops 1 spot to 7th in the updated race to Amantuera. But what a move from Min Kyu Kim. He teed off today, stationed at 28th on the money list, but now he's 5th, replacing Sam Robertshaw in the promotion places. Sweet for the 16-year-old, who's sure not to rest on his laurels. Kim, crowned the king of Caversham Heath, and the youngest ever winner in Euro Pro Tour history.
Well, Kit, we're at the end of a really long day here at Caversham Heath, and what an incredible victory from Kim, the Korean player, 16 years old, finished at 14 under. How impressed were you with his performance?
Very impressed. It's hard not to be. He started the day a boy with a 4-shot lead, and he ends it a man with a winner's trophy and a £10,000 cheque. His maturity out there went way beyond his years. He got off to the fast start, no one could get near him, and he thoroughly deserves this first victory.
Well, the drama continues. We'll be at East Sussex next week.